Still very much here in our studios, Nigeria 2015. Couple of hours to the big moment, the big election for Saturday 2015. By the way, we have two big elections, the presidential and the National Assembly elections for tomorrow. And we have 13 presidential candidates as well as series of other candidates going into the assembly. We'll be looking at all of that in a moment. A quick reminder here that our social media platform is still very much up and running, and you also can air your views on this particular program. You can tweet at us using the hashtag Nigeria 2015. It will pop up on your screen pretty much soon. But you can also use the Twitter handle you see on your screen. We have all of them there. Yes, there you have them. If you have comments or questions of more than 140 characters, do send us an email, and the email address that is at nigeria2015@channelstv.com, because we need to know how important these particular elections are to you, so you make your voice heard and tell us what's happening around you. The studios right here in Lagos is also up. Our correspondents across the country from all geopolitical zones, they'll be fielding you with reports on this particular election. Materials, they call them sensitive and not too sensitive materials, have been moved from one part of the country to another, and it would seem as if INEC has said how ready are they is what we'll be looking at. Also talking about the security and observation of this particular and monitoring of this particular process. Well, I'd like to introduce our guest now. In our Lagos studios we have Dr. Abiola Akeode Afolabi. She is the coordinator here in Lagos of the Transition Monitoring Group. And, well, good to have you join us this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
And, of course, in our Abuja studios, we have Professor, the former Foreign Affairs Minister, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, who will be joining us live from our Abuja studios. Good to have you join us, Professor.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'd like to start from Professor Gambari. The thing is, you have witnessed a couple of other elections on the continent and even in the country in Nigeria. From what you have observed so far, how fully prepared would you say we as a country are in this election?
Well, I must say that INEC has led the Council of Ice, which was established by the Savannah Center and created December year, and they've assured us and the Nigerian people that they are ready. What impresses me is the extra effort which they have made to ensure that all those who are eligible to vote, registered vote, will get the opportunity to do so, including those who are in troubled areas of the country. And I say this because in number of nations from Iraq, from Myanmar, in Angola, and also in Darfur, where in spite of the problems and the wars there, they've managed to those who want to exercise their right to do so.
Well, because one of the things that have struck people in this election is the idea that there could be violence after the polls. It's necessitated a renewal of vows, it will seem, by the two major contenders in these elections to sue for peace and accept the results of the polls. How optimistic are you that that peace accord, the second one, will affect peace during and after the polls?
Well, we have to take the leadership of the parties, the main parties, and the two presidential candidates at their word. I was at the January 14th meeting when the Abuja Accord was signed in the presence of the former Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan, in which not just the two the presidential candidates that reaffirmed their commitment yesterday, but all the presidential candidates. So these are important symbolism, but beyond symbolism, we have to, the proof of the pudding has to be in the eating. The political parties, the candidates have to really behave responsibly themselves and encourage all their supporters to also be peaceful, because the entire Nigerian people, ECOWAS region, Africa, European Union, and others are very much watching this election, and therefore it's very important that we demonstrate the kind of leadership that we've been demonstrating in Africa and in the Commonwealth in order to show that we can do this. The Nigerian people want a peaceful election, and we can do this. And in this regard, the role of the traditional rulers, the religious leaders, the civil society is extremely key. But above all, the role of the security agents of the state, they have to be exemplary, because any slight mistakes or misdeeds could really trigger off the kind of violence that nobody wants.
Do you think that the amount of security personnel that we've deployed so far could intimidate voters, or do you think that it will reassure voters that it is okay to come out, vote, and their vote will count?
Well, certainly their purpose is not to intimidate, but we have seen in both the election in Ekiti State and later on in Osun State that quite a number of people come out when they believe that the environment is secure for them to do so. So for me, what is important is not the number, but what they actually do, and the kind of respectable distance they put between themselves and in terms of the perimeters of the voting booths, so that they are there to ensure a peaceful atmosphere, but not to intimidate or, God forbid, to even try to take sides.